Number 5 question is, who are you? Is that an important question? Or would you say, who am I? Not who you are, who am I? And if I tell you who I am, what does it matter? It shall be out of curiosity, won't it? It's like reading a menu at the window. You have to go into the restaurant and eat food. But merely standing outside and reading the menu won't satisfy your hunger. So, to tell you who I am is really quite meaningless. First of all, I'm nobody. Right? That's all. It's very simple as that. I'm nobody. But what is important is who you are. What am I? What are you? When they ask who you are, in that question is implied, you are somebody very great, therefore I'm going to imitate you. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you brush your teeth or whatever it is. I'm going to imitate you, which is part of our pattern, you understand? There is the hero, or the man who is enlightened, or the guru, say, I'm going to copy everything you do, which becomes so absurdly silly, you understand? Childish to imitate somebody. And are we not the result of a lot of imitations? The religions have said, they don't use the word imitate, but give yourself over, surrender yourself, follow me, I am this, I am that, worship, right? All this is what you are. In school you imitate. Please. Acquiring knowledge is a form of imitation. And of course there is the fashion, short dress, long hair, short hair, beard, no beard. Imitate, imitate, imitate. And also we imitate inwardly. So we all know that. But to find out who you are, not who the speaker is far more important. And to find out who you are, you have to inquire. You are the story of mankind, which is really a very, if you really see that, it gives you tremendous vitality, energy, beauty, love. Because it is no longer a small entity struggling in the corner of the earth. You're part of this whole humanity. It has a tremendous responsibility, vitality, beauty, love. But most of us won't see this. But whereas we are most of us concerned with ourselves, with our particular little problem, particular little sorrow, and so on. And to step out of that narrow circle seems almost impossible. Because we are so conditioned, so programmed like the computers, that we cannot learn something new. The computer can, but we can't. See the tragedy of it. The machine that we have created, the computer, can learn much faster, infinitely more than I can, than the brain can. And the brain, which has invented that has become ultra-intelligent machine, right? Whereas our brain is sluggish, slow, dull, because we have conformed, we have obeyed, we have followed. There is the guru, there is the priest, there is the rich. You follow? And when you do revolt, as the revolutionaries and the terrorists do, it is still very superficial. Changing the pattern of politics, of so-called society. Society is merely the relationship between people. And we are talking of a revolution, not physical, but the psychological revolution in which there is no, at the depth, conformity. We put on trousers because you're in this country, and you put on in India's different clothes. That's not conformity. That's nothing childish. But inwardly, not a feeling of conformity. Conformity exists when there is comparison. For a mind to be totally free from comparison, that is, to learn, to observe the whole history which is embedded in you. I really don't know why you are clapping. Have you ever tried clapping with one hand? Please do that now from today. This is not a lecture on any particular subject according to certain disciplines, scientific or philosophical. Lectures are meant to inform on a particular subject or instruct. But we're not going to do that. This is not a lecture. Nor is it a form of entertainment, especially in this country, where one is greatly accustomed to being entertained, amused, awaken one's sensations. But rather, these today and tomorrow morning, we're going to talk over together in conversation about the whole of our existence, from the moment we are born till we die. in that period of time, whether it be 50 years or 90 years or 100 years, we go through all kinds of problems and difficulties. We have problems, economic, social, religious, problems of personal relationship, problems of individual fulfillment, wanting to find one's roots in some place or other. And we have innumerable psychological wounds, fears, pleasures, sensations. And also there is a great deal of fear in all human beings. Great deal of anxiety, uncertainty, and a pursuit of pleasure. And also, all human beings on this beautiful earth suffer, have great deal of pain, loneliness. We're going to talk about all that together. And what place has religion in modern life? And also we're going to talk over together the question of death. What is a religious mind? And what is meditation? And if there is anything that is beyond all thought, there is anything sacred in life, or everything is a matter, and therefore we lead a materialistic life. We're going to talk over together all these problems within this afternoon and tomorrow morning. So, as we said, this is not a lecture. This is a conversation between you and the speaker. A conversation in which there is no implication of conversion, doing propaganda, or introducing new theories, ideas, and exotic nonsense. We are going to, if you will kindly, talk over together our problems as two friends. Though we don't know each other, we're going to talk, discuss, have a conversation, which is much more important than being lectured at or being told what to do, what to believe, or have certain faith, and so on. On the contrary, we are going to observe dispassionately, impersonally, not anchored to any particular problem or theory, but we're going to look together what mankind has done to the world and what we have done to each other. So this is not an entertainment, a romantic, sentimental journey. Not only is intellectually important, which is part of our being, but also we must look at all these problems, the 1,000 issues that mankind has, not from any point of view, not from a particular belief or faith, but rather explore together, investigate together. The speaker is not trying to do any kind of propaganda. That would be too terrible. Or to convert any person to a particular ideation, or to a particular belief. So we are going to take a very long, complex journey together. So it's your responsibility, as well as that of the speaker, that we walk together, investigate together, look at the world that we have created. The society in which we live is put together by man, whether it be economic, social, the rich and the poor, and so on. The society in which we live, each one of us contributed to it. And if you are willing, and apparently you must be willing because you are here and I'm here, to take this long, complex journey. Because life is very complex. And we like to look at complexity and get more and more complex. But we never look at anything simply. With our brains, with our heart, with our whole being. So, let us take the journey together. The speaker may be voicing, putting into words what is happening. Objectively, clearly, and totally dispassionately. Mankind has lived on this earth perhaps for 1 million or 50,000 years. We have lived on this earth for many, many millennia. And during those periods of long time, mankind has suffered pleasure, loneliness, despair, uncertainty, confusion, multiple choices, therefore multiple complexities. And there have been wars, not only physical, bloody wars, but also psychological wars. And mankind has asked, if there can be peace on earth, pacem in terris, the Latin for peace on earth. And apparently, this has not been possible. There are about 40 wars going on at the present time, both ideological theoretical, economic, social. And during the historical times, perhaps about 5,000 to 6,000 years, there have been wars, practically every year. And also we are preparing for wars now. One ideology, that of the communist, the tyrannical, the brutal world of Russia, and the democratic, so-called democratic world of the West. Two ideologies at war. What kind of implements we should use, control of armament and all the rest of it. Wars seems to be the common lot of mankind. And also, when observe all over the world, piling of armaments, the tiny little nation or tribe to the highly sophisticated, affluent society like yours. And how can we have peace on earth? Is that at all possible? And those who have concerned have said there is no peace on earth, only in heaven. And all this is repeated in different ways, both in the East and India and here. Christians have killed more than anybody else on earth. So we are observing, not taking sides. These are facts, actualities. And there are these religions, Christianity, Islamic world, the fundamentalists, and the Hinduism and Buddhism, and the various sects within the organized Christianity, and also in India and Asia, they believe in the Buddha. In Buddhism, there is no God. In Hinduism, somebody calculated there are about 300,000 gods. That's rather fun. You can choose whichever god you like. And in Christianity and Islam, there is only one God, based on two books, the Bible and the Quran. So religions have divided man as nationalism, which is a form of glorified tribalism, have divided man. Nationalism, patriotism, religious order, the fundamentalists, both in India, here and Europe, going back, reviving the religious religion. I wonder if you have ever looked at the word reviving. You can only revive something that's dead or died. Nothing living. You can't revive a living thing. And in this country, they are reviving religion. And also they are doing the same thing in different parts of the world. And there is division between nationalities, religion, economic, and so on. And man has always been in conflict, as everyone in this world goes through all kinds of misery, all kinds of sorrow, pain, desperate loneliness. And we want to escape from all this. But we are going to look together, observe this extraordinary phenomenon. What man has made after these thousands of years still remains a barbarian, cruel, vulgar, full of anxiety and hatred. And violence is increasing in the world. So one asks, can there be peace on this earth? Because without peace, inwardly, psychologically first, the brain cannot flower. Human beings cannot live completely, holistically. So, why are we, after this long evolution, during that period, we have gathered immense experience, knowledge, great deal of information. Why are we, as human beings, are perpetually in conflict? That is the real question. Because when there is no conflict, there is naturally peace. And man, that includes the woman, please. When I use the word man, I'm not shutting out the woman. Don't get excited about it. No, one may point out, don't get angry, irritated with what we are investigating together. It's your responsibility to inquire